Yeah, he canceled twice for he's made
Made in Lagos in Toronto,
made in
he
Lagos
cancelled,
and
and then the
then
next
more
album,
love, see,
More
more
Love,
love,
Less
less ego.
Ego.
Yeah.
Bruv.
Caveat: I am sick, but we got to do this for you guys. Anyways, welcome to MOGUL Radio, the platform where we sit and have candid conversations with today's innovators, visionaries, and friends. Join us as we dive into their passion, what inspires their passion, and what challenges they face during this passion. Whether you're an enthusiast, a creative, or you're just curious, this is your space to connect and grow. Let's get started. Today I have with me Coves.
Yeah, my name is David.
Yeah.
David Olayeni.
Yeah.
Abiola. I am creative director for AZACH. AZACH is currently situated in Nigeria, and currently we're trying to branch out in Canada. Pretty much.
Nice. So I've had the opportunity to work with you. I know what your brand's all about.
Yeah.
I've seen the PCs for this year and this sick. I don't know when we'll be able to roll out all those media assets and
Fingers
whatnot.
crossed.
Fingers crossed soon. But AZAC, like you said, it's based both here in Nigeria, so I presume it started in Nigeria.
Yep, back home. Honestly, in terms of like the journey, or like the base, which is Nigeria. Basically, we do most of our production currently in Nigeria. We have a team of like 7 people. A team of 7 people. Yeah. 2 tailors, and then every other person works like behind the scene. But as far as branching out in Canada goes, for the most part, it's been David. Pretty much. So far so good in Canada. We've had a good run, I would say, for the past 1 year or 1.5. Yeah, in terms of like just connecting on fashion shows, video campaigns, collaborations with like other bodies in the entertainment industry here in Calgary. I would say so far so good. It's been a very good learning curve for me personally as a creative, and also for also a different challenge, considering how different it is back home compared to like Canada.
Yeah. Insane. What inspired AZAC and I guess you and your partner?
Yep.
Business partner.
Probably should have shouted him out like earlier. So shout out to Uche Aladima, my partner, like you said, and also my closest friend. I would say as far as inspiration goes for AZAC, you had to be, for me personally, for fashion, for me personally, I think it's always been in the family. I do believe like for an African kid growing up in somewhere like Nigeria, your first ever fashion stylist would be your mom. For me too, it was the same thing. Just growing up, wearing traditional clothes, it was almost like a rule. You had to, especially going to church, you had to look nice for my mom. So I think that kind of just, as I grew up, kind of just stuck with me in terms of like, anytime I have to show out to represent myself, I got to dress good,
That's good. That's good. The Nigerian roots. Would you say it's the same thing for Uche as well?
I'm not gonna lie. He's more of the fashion guy, in terms of like just starting up AZAC and like just even putting in more in terms of like responsibility during like the starting phase. By the way, we started off with just painting on denims. Then we would just outsource denim materials in like their bulk, and then we would just be creative like with the paintings. We learned painting and sketching generally from school, by the way. That's myself and Uche. We studied the same course back in uni, mechanical engineering. So that was where we, learned basics about sketching. And I would say Uche is he's a dope guy. You met him.
Yeah, I met him.
And in terms of being fashionable, like, is.
That's nice. So your headquarters is back in Lagos.
Yep, yep. We are very much black and proud.
That's good to hear. That's good to support black businesses.
Yep.
The story of AZACH. So I know being resourceful and using recycled denim is a huge thing for you. How did you, both of you, decide that this is the route I want to go, or we want to go? This is where we don't want to, rather than get our own denim made and start from scratch, we want to bring all these pieces of old denim together and just create.
Honestly, I think the turning point was obviously like I said, we started off from painting of denims, and then we would usually get these denims in bulk for free, for the most part. We would go somewhere to a local market back in Nigeria called
Okay,
Yaba.
fairs. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get it in bulk, and then, you know, we started seeing that as a problem. We're getting we're getting this in bulk, and then we started doing research about like waste, and we found out like a lot of other countries would actually like send waste down to Africa, you know, minus the ones that we already have back home, you know, and just even eco-friendly and like recycling is not so big back home, at least compared to Canada.
Yeah.
So we're almost trying to solve that problem of waste, you know, whilst already being in fashion in terms of like us just painting on denims and just being fashionable guys, you know, that just went to school and was studying mechanical engineering. So I think somewhere in between us trying to transition from, you know, making it big in terms of, oh, what's the next step from just painting on denims, we kind of, I would like to say we kind of stumbled on that little problem. And on coming to Canada, we kind of now look back and see why it was essential for it to have started when it did start. Because on coming to Canada, I personally saw recycling so big out here. And so why not just, you know, spread the wing here in Canada? And so far so good, I'm not gonna lie. It's even bouncing off our market back in Nigeria. So yeah, so far so good.
Yeah, congratulations to both of you on that.
Thank you very much. Not just both of us, it's a team of 7. Both of us, we don't actually even like do most of the sewing. The guys who do the sewing are like behind the scenes. So like the actual pieces are like, we just like we just do the cotton join, try to sort. But yeah, there's also a whole media team that like, you know, try to put things into perspective in terms of like our media presence. We also have a website guy. So yeah.
Shout out to the whole AZAC team. Give them a round of applause.
Shout out to everyone.
So this team of 7, were they there when you all started together, or it was a lot of trial and error and finding who fits the team?
Honestly, it started off mostly friends just supporting, you know. They see, oh, this guy's got something good going on, and they just wanted to support in terms of like, oh, we needed someone to go sort materials with us. We'd usually have a girl named Chidima. Chidima actually is now still like a part of, so that was one of our friends that stuck, you know. Obviously, after school, everyone goes their separate ways, and so during our transition phase, we just kind of just pick people along the way. I'm not even gonna lie, and it kind of helps AZACH in a way where it's pretty organic. It's people who actually want to be with us, you know, people that have been with us from like the early stages. So it's easy to actually work with most of them, considering I'm here and then everyone else is back there, you know. So yeah.
Fair enough. Do you ever run into the problems of, because both, I guess, founders are not in the same place, you know, there's some delays in your processes and whatnot?
Honestly, just because we do always have like hands on deck, and like we are always producing almost every day. It's almost like a 9 to 5 back home. In terms of just having materials on ground, maybe not necessarily, but then in terms of Uche definitely being here, because, you know, we are at the fashion shows and people want to see who the other guy is. You know, they want to, I think, we're definitely planning on bringing him over here. You know, we're planning on also making it stick more in Canada, and you know, the campaign we worked on. Fingers crossed. We'll probably not give them no scoop, but it's kind of gonna reiterate that. that fact.
Fair enough, fair enough. Do you think if he comes here, that may, I guess, uproot that foundation you have back home and that story that it starts from here
Pretty
and it's
good.
just going out?
Pretty good question. I'm not gonna lie. We have people who have been with us from the early beginning, so it's almost like we are prepping. We're prepping people who can represent AZACH. We're not just prepping just a tailor or just prepping just someone who handles social media. I feel like right now, if Uche has to leave Nigeria, there's someone next in line that we can trust. That is currently he's like the head of like the tailors back home. His name is Lekon, by the way. I'm gonna shout out everyone. Sorry.
You should. No.
But yeah, we can easily just pass the baton to him, and I'm pretty confident in Lekon's abilities in terms of just continuing the way we have started. And obviously, like, it's not like we're running away from home or we'll never go back home. So yeah.
Japa. So in this life of a creative director, fashion brand owner, so what are some challenges you faced, especially now that you're not in the founding country where you started everything? What are some challenges you currently face?
I'd say, yeah, the challenges basically come every day. You're considering, I literally moved, It wasn't just moving the fashion, it was also moving my own life. So just the whole culture we set, and like the fact that it's just a different, whole different industry compared to what we have back home. I think in the beginning of branching out here in Calgary, I definitely found it hard in terms of just connecting into like the right communities, knowing where to look, just having eyes and ears in the city, knowing what to look for. But definitely just because I guess it comes with just being a Lagosian or a Nigerian, I've just always found comfort in whatever environment I found myself. So that way I'm able to kind of collaborate. And I feel like collaboration has been like very, very essential in terms of like the journey so far.
Yeah.
But as far as challenges go, knows no bounds. I'm not gonna lie, considering the fact that, it's a whole different country, and it's a whole different fashion scene. But yeah, so far so good. I think I've been able to ride the tide, or we've been able to ride the tide. That is AZACH.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think in that sense, you do a good job because I know that I know how much you network, and I've seen how much you network.
Yeah.
You're going.
Literally met you through like just being at a fresh out show, and then I had met what was his name?
Bob.
Yep.
Yeah, met Bob. It's crazy.
And then he was just like, "Oh, I have one Nigerian friend. Like, you guys should meet. You guys would." And then we happened to actually meet at the gym like a week later.
Literally.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So yeah, that's just how, and because it's a big city, but it's still small in terms of like communities,
For sure.
Yeah, you end up running into the your own people, as long as you're consistent in terms of wanting to collaborate, because you actually have to be open to it, not just because you're a brand that does very cool stuff. You just expect like people to want to collaborate with you, especially when you're in a new place.
Yeah.
So I think for someone like me that came from Lagos, like I said, it's a city where you can't afford to be shy. You can't afford to, you gotta be outside and collaborate. So I think I just came here with like the same energy. I'm gonna lie, and yeah, networking kind of, especially when it's something you love, networking kind of comes easy in a way.
No, that's complete. I guess it's hard to say because Lagos is not the place where, like, for example, Calgary, Canada in general, you can see a stranger, smile at them, wave at them, they'll wave back. You can't do the same thing in Lagos.
True.
So it's like that different.
I feel you.
That different.
Maybe it's just a personality thing then,
Yeah,
100%. Some people are good at networking and, some people just ride your luck.
I'm the latter. I ride my luck. I'm not gonna lie. I should network more, but I don't.
Man, long as execution is the most important. As long as you're executing stuff, like yeah, you know, networking for the most part would, you know, you meet someone who would want to share a different idea with you, just the way I met your friend. But if I decided not to do anything about that information I had, then perhaps this would probably not have been happening. So
Very true.
yeah.
Oh yeah, like as soon as
Yeah, and it was important that you had to be quick too. Yeah,
that
I
was the
feel like
thing. Yeah, that was part of the brief because you followed up relatively fast.
yeah.
Because he hit me up. He followed. He's like, "Well, I'd like to meet." We met. He's like, "I want to do this for this project." And you know, we had several meetings. We drafted the idea, and within a month, we're already shooting this project.
Yeah.
The project is sick. We can't speak on it.
Yep. That
Unfortunately,
one was a sick one.
but
Fingers crossed.
fingers crossed. Have you seen?
She's already said.
Have you seen
No?
it? Oh no! Oh yeah. I've been very secretive.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he didn't come from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were busy. You couldn't make it. So
Yeah.
no, I'm excited to release that project. on the-
Definitely one of the most fun ones, you know, considering like you also had the aesthetics of like the fashion one-way show. Like the one-way shows are usually exciting, but then like just when you're able to like bring an idea, but then I'm usually not part of like the planning processes of that, you know, but then just being part of the planning process of something creative and seeing it come to life, you know.
In comparison to a 9 to 5 where it's structured times like after 5, I start 9, after 5, I'm done. I know running a business and being an entrepreneur, that doesn't happen. You're thinking of it 24/7. How do you find that balance between, you know, David's life, your personal life, versus, okay, the CEO or the creative director of this brand? What's the balance like, or is there no balance?
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say I don't. Like that was gonna be my reply. Like
You don't have balance?
yeah. I try to stick to a plan as close as I can, but then just considering, and it's part of like one of the challenges I was telling you when you asked the initial question about like what challenges have I faced. You know, it's just the fact that you know there's life like that you have to live outside of your creative self, if that makes any sense. Like on moving here, though, that was what I realized. Like you gotta give 100% to. There's a life that is like the life of like, what am I gonna eat the next day? Like it is very real. As much as creatives, we like to downplay that part.
Yeah.
But it is very real. Like at the end of the day, like creatives gotta feed. You gotta have a good. I mean, you gotta house yourself. You gotta, you know.
Provide the basic needs for life.
Yep. So, and then more so for someone who's coming, yeah, I would always like give reference to that coming from a whole different terrain. I think, yeah, for the most part, I don't. I'm not even gonna lie. I feel like I also ride my luck a lot, you know, in a way. Now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we would usually reach out to people or reach out to brands. For instance, if I need to, or I see a fashion show that I want to, like, be on, and I would get no's also. But then, because my friends would usually ask me, how do you get on those fashion shows? Or how did you get this gig? And I'll be like, they usually reach out to me. But that's only one part of it. The other part is that we usually would reach out to people and not get an answer. So back to your question in terms of like, how do I balance? Yeah, the straight up honest answer, you know, would be like,
No, you don't balance it.
yeah, I don't. I usually have a plan, and yeah, just because there's so many, like with the fashion industry, especially here in Calgary, what I found out is you could get caught up for something like
Last minute.
Yeah, last minute, and in terms of like even just keeping to time, in terms of like people, because you know it's a mini hub of like people coming from like all over the world, you know, so. It's not just me trying to adapt to the terrain. It's also a lot of other people that I might be working with. So there I guess there's a struggle in between there that still needs to be fixed. But with time, I think, yeah. I would get the hold of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on the topic of time, this is not even related. I thought you were gonna be late today.
I feel like that was exactly the same thing I saw when you told me you just got here, because I was like, you probably thought I was going to be late.
I was like, okay, if we were, because we got here
We
late.
got here at the same time.
Yeah, we got here at the same time. Crew got here late.
Yeah.
And I was like, don't worry,
Canada
it's
has
fine.
taught me in a way, to kind of
Be punctual.
be punctual.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, we were thinking, okay, he's gonna be. I was thinking he was gonna be 30 minutes late, so we have some time to set up. At least 30 minutes late. This man shows up before time. I was like, fucking hell. But no, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you made it.
Yeah, and I feel like probably use this opportunity to shout out to like the old MOGUL.
Oh yeah, the MOGUL crew.
I feel like I don't know if there's a section for this.
I haven't done that, but that's
I mean, straight up when our mutual friend had told me about you, and I went on Instagram to check, like, it was probably one of the things that kind of gave me belief to kind of, if there's someone who's documenting all this for creatives in Calgary, then kind of one of the things that kind of gave me the inspiration to kind of move on, because like I'd met him like during the early times of trying to branch out AZACH in Calgary.
That's crazy.
So yeah, shout out to MOGUL Studio and the team.
How do you find inspiration and bring ideas to life, both in your personal life and as a creative director for AZACH?
I'm very much a people person, I feel like I wouldn't say I don't believe in, but I feel like inspirations don't just come from the sky, Sometimes it's from just seeing something, could be a glance, but then there would always be something in you that kind of elevates whatever inspiration that you find. So I feel like my greater inspiration would be people. I'm not gonna lie, in terms of like friends that I meet, in terms of like even the networking that I do. But yeah, inspiration do just come from the sky or on the dream. For me, at least, even with AZACH, even with the fashion, we do a lot of sorting of materials. But then sometimes I walking on the street and I see a jean that I like, I take a picture, I send it to the team. I'm like, how can we kind of improve this? For the most part, it's usually just from our knowledge of fashion generally. We come up with like sketches, we come up with like patchworks, and sometimes also even with our custom orders, we kind of create an avenue for whoever it is who is ordering to collaborate with us in terms of like the designing. That way you are your own designer, on whatever pieces that you want to make. So we definitely have like, I think 4 or 5 of such orders in which they just saw something and then they're like, oh, I remember like a brief sketch of it. And then they sketch it to send it to us and we kind of elevate it for them. So yeah, for me personally, I'm gonna say I'm a people person. I kind of find inspiration in people.
What are some of your pet peeves?
I like my quiet. I'm not gonna lie. I love me a yapper, but yeah, like it's gonna be something that for the most part, I have interest. I'm not even gonna lie, I have interest in. But yeah, I spend a lot of time just being quiet. Yeah, and I feel like my friends probably even know, and it's probably annoying sometimes because it's already boring out here with the weather, and and then you have a friend that just likes to keep to himself sometimes. Can be.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm that person.
Yeah, it's a city of yappers being in the way of the fact that people gotta communicate. It's a lot of like new people coming into the country, so what I found out is that people would usually love to have a conversation. It goes a long way even
Small
for you,
talk.
for your sake. Just getting accustomed to the terrain. You gotta have a conversation, but then yeah.
What's next for you?
I'm excited about this part because I get to talk about my music. Yeah.
Shoot, plug everything.
Yeah, definitely music. Also, you say music, you obviously say fashion. For AZACH, we are definitely working on the music meets fashion kind of event, another scoop. How that would take shape would be subject to the actual event. But yeah, music, fashion, got new collection coming out in about a week. Gonna be displayed on a fashion show coming up soon.
Oh, sick.
We're also doing like a kiddies spin-off. Yeah, AZACH kiddies.
AZACH kiddies.
Yeah. So that's a little scoop, So in terms
Oop.
of fashion and every other thing, yeah, I think that's what I'm also like in terms of like my music. I'm also working on like a project that's gonna be coming out soon, and I plan on infusing with whatever show we end up planning for AZACH in terms of the fashion. So yeah, fingers crossed. Exciting times ahead.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you being on here.
Thank you very much,
Thanks,
sir.
my G.